Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Fish Fit podcast with Richard and Jenny. Today, we're going to be doing something slightly different than our typical weekly podcast questions. We want to do some lightning rounds with different questions to try and figure a little bit more out about each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a back and forth instead of a specific topic. Something a little bit different than our typical weekly debates. So
for this podcast, we have 6 questions instead of just one topic. I've come up with 3 questions which Richard doesn't know, and he has come up with 3 which I don't know. So we're going to try and surprise each other and get out some unusual reactions and see what happens. And hopefully, if you find these questions interesting, you might ask people in your own lives the same questions and see what kind of answers or reactions you get.
All right. Okay, so me and Jenny have decided we will do a rock, paper, scissors to see who wins to ask the first question.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So we'll do rock, paper, scissors, go.
Okay.
So you go on the
last part.
On the last part. Okay, ready?
All right. Rock, paper, scissors, go. You go first?
I win. I'll go
All
first.
right.
Okay.
Ladies first.
Number 1 question for Richard. What are 3 similarities between retirement homes and zoos?
3 similarities.
Between retirement homes and zoos.
Ooh, I wish I knew more about retirement homes.
Have you ever visited one?
Not really. I would just imagine the freedom of a retirement home being quite restrictive, kind of like a zoo.
So is that your first similarity?
Is there
freedom?
I guess this is just kind of like my opinion, right? It's
Yeah.
Or do you have an answer for this?
No, I didn't write any answers.
Okay.
So restrictions on freedom. One
Restrictions
similarity.
on freedom. Yes. It is safe, I would say, for the occupants.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're given that maybe the seniors are not receiving abuse in those odd cases where the caretakers are abusing the seniors.
So it's safe. People get food and shelter.
Safe. Yeah, so you get all your amenities. It is kind of restrictive because somebody has to take care of you, so you're kind of boxed in. And what is this last one? I mean, you need to hire people to run these places.
Yeah,
So it doesn't run itself, so it's a job place.
Yeah, they create jobs.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great. I hope you like my answers, and maybe I don't know. Were you expecting something very thoughtful?
No,
I feel like
it's not a super thoughtful question. I just wanted to see your reaction to it. My initial similarity would have just been sometimes people and animals get put there against their will.
I think in Florida they have that,
And
don't they?
sometimes
Or in some states, maybe not. Maybe Florida, maybe not Florida. I don't know, because there. I mean, have you seen the new Amazon movie? The what is it? The one I Care a Lot. Where that lady kind of entraps seniors and takes guardianship over them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of situation feels like the forced, forced control of a person's will against a person's will, and somehow that's legal. So I don't know. Maybe I think it's different in Canada than it is in those places, right?
I would still argue sometimes families just are not maybe sure what to do, so they're just like, the home is the best place for you. And they're like, I don't want to go to the home is the best place for you, trust me.
Is that when a person might I can see if a person is senile and they can't help themselves, and maybe they have some kind of physical disability as well, as a senior, right? Yeah, that could be a situation where that happens, I guess.
Yeah. Okay,
well, we will move on to the second question. Okay, my super thoughtful question.
Super thoughtful.
Does that intimidate you?
Unlike your thoughtless question.
No, I just want to see how you answer this one. Would you rather lose the ability to read or the ability to speak?
I would rather lose the ability to speak. reading is very important to me. Even when I was living overseas in Japan, a lot of people there just really, like a lot of foreigners living there, just care about speaking language skills so they can just communicate. But reading was really important to me. I wanted to study how to read because reading helps you get through everything in life. Reading signs, reading advertisements, reading the ingredients on the food that you're eating and purchasing. Yeah, literacy is very important to me. But if I can't speak, which actually I've had a lot of experience with growing up because I got strep throat once or twice a year for about 10 years, you can always write what you want to say to people.
Sure.
Especially now with text messaging too. I can still write.
So yeah, writing isn't part of that question. So you could still write. Now, I guess if you're a bit more musically inclined type of person, that would also mean like if you can't speak, you also can't sing.
No, I can't sing anyways. That doesn't change anything.
I mean, there's a few times when you tried and that was kind of adorable.
Yeah, but then, it could still be. I
guess you could live without singing.
Yeah, I could live without singing. Yep.
Okay.
I don't want to lose my ability to read. I get a lot of joy from that.
Yeah, I think reading has a very big tie to like understanding culture as well. A lot of like history is kind of documented in writing, so you need to be able to kind of understand that, right? So if you can talk, unfortunately you wouldn't be able to talk to the people that are alive back then, so you would have to go through a word of mouth of somebody who's like a distant relative.
Yeah.
So I suppose maybe being able to read something, you'd be able to capture history much better than speaking.
Yeah, or even just reading for pleasure, reading novels, or reading subtitles on a movie, so you don't have to listen to the terrible dubbing.
What? We were watching Lupin recently, that French like robber series
and,
in Netflix.
He put on the dubbed version, which is awful.
So for those of you who don't know, Jenny really likes like terribly made movies, like old terribly made movies.
I like B movies, but I always like to have usually the original voices matching up with the lips.
Okay. Well, I figured because you enjoy like bit of that sense of like, oh, okay, so this wasn't purely made with the 100% perfection of a production, a large scale production, that it would just be something you enjoy. So why not turn it around on the subtitles and the and the dubs?
I can understand that, but
French and English dubs are hilarious.
But Lupin is not a B show. It's a good show, so I want to like take it in. I
guess listen to the characters' voices and everything else. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
My second question.
Okay. Your second question.
My second question is, what is the male equivalent to the little black dress? So they say for women, every woman has a little black dress. It's a classic article of clothing to have in your closet. When in doubt, the little black dress. Everyone owns a little black dress.
For funerals?
No, you can wear it anywhere. It's like the piece to have. You can wear it to work. You can wear it out for dinner. You can wear it to a funeral if you want to. It's like a classic item that you should have in your closet. What is the male equivalent to that? Every man must have this in his closet. Like khaki shorts or something.
Ooh, okay. I guess if you want to be like versatile, jeans. Anybody should have a nice pair of well-fitting jeans. It can work for, quite honestly, a lot of jobs that will accept like some level of casual dress, and you could walk around, you could do casual things with it, leisure activities with it. You could be outside running around with it. You don't have to worry about jeans tearing up too much because they're good material and they last, right? And like it's pretty universal, and it pairs well a lot with different types of clothing too.
All right.
Yeah, work, play.
Yeah. So you heard it. Every man needs a good pair of fitted jeans in his wardrobe.
Stretch denim fitted jeans.
Stretch denim.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So my second question for you is, would you rather live permanently in virtual reality where you can go anywhere, or live permanently in one place in reality and never be able to move out, but you still have like the typical access to amenities and everything that you'll need?
Can I take
in one place?
Can I drive places and take airplanes?
You can drive places, but maybe you have to stay in one town.
So you can only drive around that town, so you're trapped in that town?
Yes. Think of it as like some kind of a bubble dome, and you're being quarantined in a town or something like that, right? So would you rather live fictitiously in your mind, but in your perceived reality, it's a virtual realm, or would you rather be in touch with the physical presence, like the real physical surroundings and environments?
I'd rather be in the virtual world in that case and be able to travel everywhere and speak to different people, because really, what is reality except your like subjective view of it? So if I have a real body, quote unquote, rotting away as I live my years in this virtual world, who cares? Let it lay there and rot. Give me
you want to see the world.
Give me the virtual world.
See the universe, right?
Yeah. To stay, because now all of us know what it's like to be stuck in one town and not be able to drive anywhere.
Yeah, especially
or take
after
an
the
airplane
quarantine,
anywhere.
Right?
And I think a year or 2 years is about enough of that. So
a lot of this yo-yo dieting of lockdown and reopening and lockdown reopening.
Yeah. I definitely would choose the virtual world.
Yeah.
Would you?
Well, I think virtual world, probably, as well. That sense of freedom, is very important, ultimately. And I don't know, like, people may be able to take short spurts of, like, lockdown measures for a while. Like, can you imagine yourself going through, like, 3 or 4 years of lockdown?
Yeah.
If the pandemic, like, continued on, right? So it feels like a very mentally degrading situation. You can only take it for so long.
Well, imagine how prisoners feel with life sentences.
Right? Yeah.
Here you are. You're going to live for about 40 more years in a cage with nothing to do.
Yeah.
Same shit to eat every day. Same fucking books in the library, probably, if you have library access.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Like, you'll survive. It's just,
Just surviving.
You're just surviving. And the basic elements of, like, human happiness and pleasure are all gone. There's nothing left, right? So, virtual reality.
Virtual reality all the way!
I only asked the question because I felt you were kind of a very, like, real and grounded person.
Yeah.
So, like, I thought it would be interesting to kind of see if you really prefer the reality, if it meant it was a different kind of condition.
Well,
if it came with attached strings.
I mean, if I after spending so much time in the virtual world, it would be my reality. It would be real to me.
Yeah. And another reason why I asked, I think it's because, like, I think the world is kind of moving in a direction where virtual reality is becoming a more of a, I guess they're creating games out of it for now, so it's kind of like becoming a fun place to be. And I can only imagine, like, the technology will grow, so, like, all of that virtual environment might just expand right from here on out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, side by side, I would rather choose the real world, but it takes all different kinds of people to make the world go round. So some people want to hang out in the virtual world. Well,
and you know what? Yeah, something like a virtual reality could work if, like, the world is under, like, a pandemic situation and people want to gather. You can still, like, join up virtually and come back to the world again, right? Every evening or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think reality is just, like, a unique thing on its own. It's hard to compare the two.
Though some people believe we are living in a simulation. But anyways,
the Earth is flat.
Question. Number 3 from me. If you were going to busk to make money on the streets, what would you do?
Like, what kind of instruments would I play?
While busking, you could be playing instruments, or would you be like...
Isn't busking, like...
I guess it's
performing
playing an instrument,
something. Yeah.
Or you could paint yourself silver and have people take photos with you.
Oh, like the super still structures.
I've seen Spider-Mans in
statues
Toronto.
or something like that.
I've seen people playing literal plastic tubs. People playing real instruments.
Ooh, I think what I would do. This might be fun for me as well. And I'll probably take a beating for it, but I would want to set up one of those. If you can even fit this on the street side, I want to set up one of those like wipeout obstacle courses where I just try and like do different things every day for people's entertainment.
What?
It's performance, right? So, I mean, yeah, I kind of wanted to do like just kind of like clarify that busking, like what are my limits, before
that
I
can be your
get
thing.
to
If you want to be a street performer, let's say, and make money, what would you do? Can you explain the wipeout thing some more?
Have you ever seen Wipeout?
No.
It's where, I mean, you've been to Japan, so like there's a lot of crazy Japanese shows where people are pushed through like obstacles where there's like a pool of water underneath and they can't fall off and they got to jump through hoops and like there's moving mechanisms and they got to crawl through like little mazes or like climb up on ropes. Do you know what I'm saying? So like something like that I think is very interesting and it's fun because it's very like interactive.
I don't know if that's a street performance that
I'll set it up. I'll set up like a huge obstacle course. I'll take up the entire square.
Okay, and if you had no money to set it up, what would you do?
Okay, well those are new terms.
Well, you're doing this to make money. I mean, if you have the money to do the wipeout thing, you might as well get a camera.
Nobody ever said I didn't have money to begin with to build something for myself.
Well, let's say you didn't.
Like, can I open a carnival? Like,
no. Think smaller.
Like music would be a very, I think, an obvious one. Maybe storytelling. I think that could be very interesting and very deep because you have many directions that you can go in and a lot of people can kind of just get started in it,
Are you a good storyteller?
I like to be.
Yeah?
I'd like to be a good storyteller.
Please.
One of my... What was it? One of my interviews from way back when I graduated university was just, I think it was very direct and to the point, and this kind of stuck with me, what the interviewer said to me at the end of it. I believe I kind of given like all the skill sets that I've had during the interview. I kind of like demonstrated that, let them know, and kind of demonstrated my knowledge a little bit. But the only thing I believe, they were looking for some kind of storytelling from my part, and I mean, I thought that was kind of interesting that you wanted that, but I was very direct, and maybe that just goes with my personality.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so there's probably better ways I could have created like a structure. I think maybe he's just looking for some kind of like better structure is all, instead of jumping right to the point and the questions were answered so very directly.
Well, if you tell a story during an interview, the interviewers get a bigger sense of who you are, and also they get something to grab onto to see you as a human being instead of just another interviewee. So they're probably looking like, where's his human aspect? He's got all the right answers, but like, who is Richard?
So they were trying to maybe figure out my my personality, the soft side, right? Like the soft skills and everything else. And that's something that, of course, I totally had. It's just, I guess without that storytelling element, I don't communicate that effectively. Yeah. So maybe they didn't catch it, right? Yeah. But of course, like the people that I'm working with now, they know who I am. They talk well with me, and we cooperate every day, and it's easy. And it's very fun, very, easygoing. But yeah, back then that was one thing that stuck with me. So the storytelling parts, and I'd like to be like a storyteller. And even the thing is with storytelling, like you're looking also to become like a good public speaker, right? And just being able to like move people with words, I think that's great. Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Hey,
It's a lot of
I paid a lot
fun.
of money to get my degree in that.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what? You wouldn't be able to do that if you couldn't speak.
Yeah?
If you were only able to read.
I could write, though, and that's what I actually did in my degree.
Yeah. But you like that idea, though, of like storytelling performance. Yeah, because there's a lot of acts out there as well where people have like very good hosts. Let's just call them very good hosts or presenters, right? They know how to sell something. So that being said, maybe a good salesman would be able to do that very well on the streets. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Right.
Last question.
If you are to grow an extra body part, just one, what, where, and why?
This is gonna come
the
off
number
very rude, but I would grow a new one of these. I'm not being rude though. I broke this finger a couple years ago, and it gives me a little bit of pain sometimes. So I'd like to grow a new middle finger, please. I would have this one removed and then just let the new one grow through like a baby tooth.
But isn't it fun to flick people off when you're just a little crooked? You always seem to enjoy it.
You have to make the best of your situations, Richard. It is what it is. Can't do anything about it now.
So, okay, that being said, like, you're not removing your old middle finger. What, where, and why? So you told me the what, you want another middle finger, where?
Where the old middle finger would have sat.
So, like, another finger is gonna come out.
No, I'm gonna amputate this one.
So you're gonna cut it off,
and then let the new one grow through.
You can't replace a limb.
If I can't replace, then I would just have another arm, so I can bake extra fast.
Where would you have the arm? On your back?
The arm would probably come out from right here.
Oh my gosh.
So it'd be like a sub arm. It'd just be like
double right-handed
the same length, but it'd probably of course another right arm.
Yeah.
This one.
Super dominant.
Super dominant.
Yeah, what would you be able to do? You can ride your bike and carry groceries if you didn't have a basket.
Yeah.
Right? What else could you do?
It's great. I can drive and grab something from the back seat.
You'd be a great hugger.
Yeah.
An extra arm, extra leverage.
Pat everyone on the back, walk Neko while drinking coffee and
some heavy pats.
Yeah. Yeah, it would basically just be good for working in the kitchen though, to have an extra hand. We always say, I only have 2 hands. Well, I would have 3.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah, those were good questions.
Yeah,
that was fun.
That was fun.
It's just something fun to do this week because we're going back into lockdown, so it's kind of feeling blah.
Kind of unfortunate.
But maybe next week we'll go back to a more serious topic.
Yeah, we'll explore another one again next week. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us at Fish Flip Podcast. This is Richard and Jenny. Have a good one.
Bye. Enjoy the lockdown.
See ya.